151 was not quite part of the plan, but it was close enough. Let's go ahead and see what the potentials are for the following sessions. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with a GTII technicals, raw price action, and statistical thread of analysis on this Hump Day Wednesday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community and Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, so GTII on the 6-hour chart, this is what we were looking at yesterday as a potential guide for our price action today, right? So we were talking about the potential of coming back up to that 171 area before a huge resistance, and then coming back down to around that 159 level. Of course, we got it at one point today, but we ended up flashing down to the 151 downside target. So I wanted to show you what the price action actually looks like from a closer perspective, right? So this would be, you can see the dates down here, right? So right when I hover over those candles, you can see the dates changing. Wednesday 26th, 25th there, 24 back here. Yeah, so this would be the opening candle for the trading session for today. So it opened at 165, right? And the price action ended up moving towards the upside, touching the target of 169. We were talking about a potential retracement from 171, right? So it got close enough, right? So we faced a rejection that we were looking for at one point. We actually did get that the 159 low, right? So right here, this was on this hour here, we faced that 158 drop, and it closed at 159. We started the upside, but of course, facing this type of a downside move can actually can implement some fear into the bulls and stuff, right? So some people started covering right here, and we ended up touching back down to about 151. Okay, so and then we started that upside. What's very curious is that the reversion variant actually noticed a very strong impulse from here and gave us a long signal, right? So, and then the price action started moving to the upside, which is very good, right? So let's go ahead and continue on the analysis here to see what we have as a potential. Okay, so now that you can see what kind of happened there, I can start to change the time frames here just so that you can see what that, just in case the formation traders are paying attention to this, right? The pattern traders, the inverse, the head and shoulders right here, the little herpy derpy, right? So let's go ahead and see this in a shorter time frame. Look at the bi-hourly. So the bi-hourly time frame kind of gives it some more structure, right? So it's very possible that it could be trading within a smaller time frame. However, it's still visible from the 6-hour time frame, and this would be our supposed right shoulder, right? So, but of course, when you look at it on the bi-hourly, it starts to kind of like make a little more sense, right? There's a few ways to kind of look at this because it's such a jagged formation, and some people could be looking at this. I'm sorry, let me just go ahead and drop this. One more time. There you go. So this right here could be arguably one of the shoulders, right? This could be the head, and this could be the other shoulder. So, and the neckline, of course, still pertaining to that zone there. Okay, so upon a continuation to the upside, because the downside was so significant, that actually pressured some of the momentum indicators into a zone that could be considered more consolidation than anything else, right? So let's go ahead and continue on the analysis and see what exactly I mean by that. Okay, so now, first of all, just real quick, I don't have anything to really say about the statistical backtest here, other than I still have to run it. But very nice hammer print here, right? So anytime that we have a downtrend and we start printing very long wicked candles like this here, with a top, with a closing smaller body on top, that usually indicates a potential continuation to the upside, right? So now momentum traders, day traders, they tend to look at candle analysis, even in the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, all those tiny micro time frames, right? I personally find weight to candle analysis in the upper term time frames. I mean, 6 hours is still a little bit small for me. I would probably minimum 8 hour, right? But from there, my preference would be a daily. So and then up. But when you start getting into weeklies and monthly candles, that becomes a whole other story. It's almost like predictive theory there, or predictive analysis instead of forecast, right? So let's move on here. I just wanted to kind of point that out there because it is kind of a nice print. Let me see the 8 hour to see if it did it. Actually, it did. The 8 hour did a very nice hammer candle here, and actually this is a prime example of a hammer candle. That very, very nice hammer there. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue now. So regarding the Gaussian channel, right? So I know it seems like we fell to kind of a random place here, but if you move down to shorter time frames, you'll see why, right? There you go. So 12-hour time frame, bottom side of the Gaussian channel, which was at 152, tested, right? And then rejected. So just so you kind of can see that there are support levels and resistances in different time frames as well. So let's move on. And there's no reason to touch down onto the momentum guide here, right? This is what we've been covering, or we've been following for a few days. Now, what I did want to mention here is the 5-day descending channel close. What I mean by that is that we are about to close a 5-day iteration. Just a sec, guys. I think my toddler's asleep right outside, and I'm actually alone at home. Okay, he is quiet still. All right, and him and I may or may not be coming down with something right now. We may have a little bit of a cold coming down, so he's not feeling too good. He had a very long night, and it's kind of pressuring Dad to stay with him, right? So as he doesn't want to let me go, which is it's a good thing. Okay, you guys. But anyway, yeah. In 19 hours and 30 minutes, we're going to get the closure of this 5-day iteration, and the importance behind that is that we're closing it outside of the descending channel, right? So that's a good sign, right? So, and it would be the second iteration of a closure, testing the validity of this support, or a newly converted resistance, right, into now a support line, right, particular to the channel. So that's a good thing to kind of look out for. Okay, so I don't like that we are still in the red here. I would like for this to continue to the upside a little bit, turn it green, and then it would be amazing if it could actually close upside of the previous opening of the red candle, right? So the opening of the previous one would be 176. Okay, so if we can close at 177 or 178, it would be highly, highly ideal, and would certainly help the bulls out in this situation. So actually, now as I'm starting to see something here, there could be a very interesting situation here. I didn't notice this until maybe just now. So we could be building a bullish pennant, and that would be amazing. It would be very, very amazing. So I think it's actually something like this. No way. Wow. Very, very possible that we're building a pennant. Let's see. I usually, I don't typically look for formations, right? I usually look for the back tests and mathematical stuff, right? So in this case, there is a strong possibility here for. Hold on, I just want to get it as tight as I can. This could be it right here, right? So. Yeah, something like this right here, right? So yeah, this is a pennant, a symmetrical triangle, right? So these formations, and especially since we're on the 5-day time frame, would carry some weight, right? So after or during an uptrend, when we start building this formation turns into what's called a continuation formation. And we pretty much have the apex of the triangle already, and we're about to close this candle here, and very high potential that we're going to close it inside of the pennant. So that would mean that this is kind of a floor for the pennant. The top side resistance here is $1.92. Okay, so $1.92 is very specific because of this capitulation candle here. Please notice the low right up here on the L, right? And that says 191. So very tough resistance at that 191, okay, or 192 of this pennant top. So if we can actually just, we would actually need to combat this and then come back down to validate it as a newly converted resistance into support, and then continue on to the upside. But there is an objective price for this, right? So we can figure that by taking a trend line from the highest point of the triangle to the lowest point, and we can apply it to that supposed area of breakout. Okay, so that's taking us to about $4.26. Okay, so what I am noticing here is that the top side of this area being that 192, that would already suggest that we're on our way to making that target that we were talking about yesterday at 202, right? So 192 would just be literally right over here. So that gives us kind of a resistance range. Okay, so that's nice to know that everything is still kind of rhyming together. All right, so and now I wanted to show you. I think I still have the weekly Gaussian channel. I think it was at I'm sorry, the weekly. I clicked on the wrong one, right? Could it be? No, it would be. Let's see. I'm just gonna give you the resistance touch with something else is kind of rhyming with that top side too. It could be on the 8-hour top side. So it's I mean $2 on the 8-hour. No, sorry, 201 on the 8-hour. That's very much the 202 target of the inverse head and shoulders. So there are things rhyming is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let's move on and see what else we have. I would really like to see a continuation of green here because we're showing some weakness in the 3-day in the 3-day momentum indicator here. Okay, so this weakness here is not that good of a thing, but please remember that these things kind of move like this, right? It's okay for us to face some weakness and then a continuation to the upside. We got for the majority, the majority of this was around 75% guessed by us, right? So we still have a day and 20 hours to kind of close this 3-day iteration. Very likely for us to find a support and continuation to the upside before it closes. All right, so now let's look at, Now let's look at the RSI, okay, which is essentially what we were looking at yesterday. We were sitting right here, right, potential resistance, and we definitely got the downside that we were looking for, and then we got the upside that we were looking for, right? So very good. Now the next one also faced that downside that we were looking for, and then the upside, right? It's literally just like that, and it pressured just like we said to the 8-hour time frame. Okay, so while there is an upside here, it looks like we could have a tiny pullback coming into the end of the session tomorrow, but that pullback is actually very, very limited, and it could be indicative of I would say just a couple cents down, and then this would actually find support, but find support from the 14-day simple, and then a continuation to the upside. So, but for the majority here, there is, let's see. Okay, so the resistance that you're looking at here in the 8-hour, okay, so let's go ahead and just make a new drawing here so that we can see exactly what could happen, right? So go ahead and notice that we'll just take it from here, right? So we'll find eventually that resistance from the 14-day simple, right? 8-hour candle here, so the 8-hour time frame, so it would take definitely a few hours, okay? So, and then we would reject 8-hour, this iteration here would actually pressure the daily to find a support from the 14-day simple moving average, which is the pink line, right? And then get a bounce to the upside. Okay, so that would be kind of the ideal scenario here. Okay, so the shorter time frames are very likely to find some type of resistance soon, and it would be showing on that 4-hour. So that 4-hour shows that we have a little bit of resistance coming up before a downside and finding support by the end of the day tomorrow. So in other words, it should be about consolidation tomorrow, validating of current supports before a continuation to the upside. So nothing too exciting here, but what is important is that we're still maintaining within this upper end of the chop zone that we've been talking about, right? So it's looking good, you guys. I think just to be very, very clear here, very likely we can actually come back down to the area of about 156 before continuing on to the upside, right? So let's just let's find the support that we're trying to get here, and very likely could be found tomorrow before that continuation starts on either Thursday or Friday, but more than likely Thursday, right? So yeah, let's just keep an eye on that, guys. Please remember that I still have about a seat left, or maybe 2, in the ArcMasters trading course, right? So the first week just started this Sunday, but that was just an introduction week. So the actual analysis will start on, or the actual classes will start on this coming Sunday. So find the Gmail in the description below and get enrolled before it's too late, as this will be the last lesson that I will teach. I need to concentrate on trading, and then I will consider maybe later on down the road another lesson, but it should be it like not this year or next year maybe. I don't think so. But yeah, you guys. So anyway, please remember first and foremost that I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever. Okay, I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool. All right, you guys. But with that said, I wish you well, a very good night, good job today, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.